He is a former federal prisoner who served time at 11 institutions of various security levels in 5 different states, and now advises people who are about to go to prison. Same information? Are they saying it's possible?
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that. People in the chute have an abbreviated list.
I'm fabulous! Oh! I'm fabulous! I work for you, Jet! Whenever I want to have you, Jet!
Say goodbye to the high life as Diddy's world now revolves around 4 cold, unforgiving walls each and every day.
Jail was terrible for anybody. But for someone who's used to having people wait on them hand and foot and never stands in line and always, gets front row and gets the best table and gets to have the exact opposite, what a life-changing moment it is.
Life at MDC is a far cry from red carpets and private jets. This place isn't nicknamed Hell on Earth without reason, known for its brutal conditions, cramped cells, and unforgiving atmosphere. MDC has broken even the toughest of spirits. But here's where it gets intriguing. While most inmates would likely scoff at the idea of anyone receiving special treatment, whispers are spreading that Diddy's time in lockup might not be as unbearable as expected. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more shocking, a former prison guard has come forward with claims that will make you do a double take.
You have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
So, what's really happening behind those bars? Is there more to this story than meets the eye? Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the rumors. If there's any truth to them, things are about to take a truly shocking turn.
The music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy, and now referred to as inmate 3D7452D54, is enduring a nightmare at New York's Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, a facility notoriously dubbed Hell on Earth. Luxury is now a distant memory. Instead, Combs is facing a grim reality filled with brutality, illegal substances, rampant chaos, life-threatening tensions, and the harshness of shared showers. This is a far cry from the extravagant parties he once hosted, attended by celebrities, models, and the ultra-wealthy. The fall from grace for Sean Combs began in September 2024, when his empire crumbled under the weight of a series of serious charges. Prosecutors accused him of racketeering and running a criminal enterprise linked to numerous offenses against women. For a man who built a billion-dollar empire spanning music, fashion, vodka, and more, this marked the ultimate downfall. Diddy was the epitome of opulence, rising to fame in the 1990s as a cultural icon and amassing a fortune beyond most people's wildest dreams. His legendary white parties embodied excess, decadence, and exclusivity. Now, however, he finds himself living a stark nightmare, light years away from the glamour of the red carpet. Rumors suggest he is being held in isolation for his own safety, but even isolation offers little reprieve. Cut off from the outside world, his only contact comes during brief meetings with his legal team or family. Imagine being confined to a small cell, left to wrestle with fear, anger, regret, and the heavy weight of solitude. Combs' attorney has revealed the grim truth about MDC, describing it as far worse than merely being deprived of luxuries. The facility is infamous for its inhumane conditions. Inmates frequently report mold-infested showers, freezing cells in winter, sweltering heat in summer, and an environment of constant violence. Diddy may have been a global superstar on the outside, but behind these walls, none of that matters. He is just another inmate struggling to survive. Even the smallest disputes, like fighting for a place in line or a seat during meals, can spark savage altercations. Former prisoners have described living in perpetual fear, never knowing when the next fight might erupt. For someone like Diddy, a high-profile inmate, the danger is magnified. Reliable sources confirm that he is being held in the Special Housing Unit, SHU, confined to a 24-hour lockdown. Every move he makes is controlled and heavily monitored. Inmates in the SHU cannot leave their cells without being restrained with leg irons, handcuffs, belly chains, and under the watchful eye of at least 2 or 3 guards. To make matters worse, MDC is plagued by allegations of corruption and misconduct among its staff. reports suggest that some guards turn a blind eye to violent incidents, smuggle in contraband, and even instigate conflicts among inmates. Surviving. In such an environment isn't just about keeping your head down, it's about forming alliances and playing the dangerous game of prison politics.
They told the judge the jail he was being sent to is dreadful, dirty, inhuman, and an ongoing tragedy.
The public reaction to Sean Combs' incarceration has been deeply divided. While many believe he is finally facing justice, others have expressed genuine concern for his safety. Some argue that his current circumstances are karma catching up with him, while others remind us that regardless of the accusations, he is still navigating serious real-life dangers inside the prison, as former inmates have pointed out. Diddy's daily life in the Special Housing Unit, SHU, is a stark departure from the lavish lifestyle he once enjoyed. His wake-up call comes at 6 a.m. sharp, though it's unlikely he gets much rest before then. The SHU is eerily quiet at night, but occasional screams pierce the silence, jolting him from restless sleep. Sleeping comfortably is almost impossible on a thin 1.5-inch mattress, with no pillow to ease his discomfort. This is a far cry from his $40 million mansion, one of his many luxurious estates. There, he woke up in soft sheets, surrounded by expansive rooms. That mansion boasted amenities like a home theater, a spa, a beauty salon, and even a pool connected to an underground water tunnel. Now his cell offers a grim contrast. It likely lacks natural light, illuminated only by a harsh strip light overhead. His bed is a bolted iron frame with no comfort, and beside it sits a small all-in-one unit with a sink and toilet. That's about all there is. Diddy spends 23 hours a day in this confined space, with only 4 concrete walls and the occasional cockroach for company. In such isolation, people develop unusual coping mechanisms. It's easy to imagine him naming the cockroach just to feel a semblance of connection in this stark environment. Although his family is permitted to visit, and his lawyer stops by regularly, the vast majority of his time is spent alone in this bleak, uncomfortable cell. The routine inside the SHU is rigid but necessary for survival. Each morning, Diddy is required to make his bed, mop the floor, and clean the toilet and sink. For someone who once had an army of staff to cater to his every need, these chores might feel humiliating, but they also provide structure and a small sense of purpose in an otherwise monotonous existence. Without these tasks, the hours would stretch endlessly, risking a descent into madness. Meals are delivered through a small slot in the door. Gone are the days of caviar and gourmet cuisine. Instead, he receives powdered scrambled eggs, cheap, white bread, milk, and sweet juice. These basic meals are served 3 times a day, meeting the legal minimum of 1,800 calories. However, they are rarely hot, adding another layer of discomfort to his new reality. Once accustomed to dining at the finest restaurants where he could easily spend thousands on a single meal, Sean Combs now faces the grim reality of jailhouse cuisine. His lavish indulgence in fine dining has been replaced with cold, unappetizing food, mystery meat, and cold hot dogs made from muscle and sinew. These inexpensive meals, typically costing just $3 or $4 each, are far from appealing. Reports of maggots in the food make the experience a nightmare, especially for someone who once dined at the world's most exclusive establishments. However, Diddy does have some advantages, primarily due to his financial resources. Despite the harsh environment, he has access to the prison commissary, where he can purchase various items like candy, coffee, tea, and snacks to supplement his meager meals. He can also buy personal items such as clothing and a radio, which offer small comforts in his isolated existence. Still, this financial freedom comes with limits. Once known for wearing a $500,000 diamond-studded gold chain, he is now confined to a budget of $160 every 2 weeks. While this might seem like a lot to some, for a man who once spent millions without hesitation, it's a stark adjustment. With such a limited budget, Diddy must make tough choices about what to buy, whether indulging in small treats or focusing on practical items, a far cry from the opulence he once enjoyed. In the quiet of his cell, Diddy may try to find solace in reading, but his options are limited. The Special Housing Unit, SHU, lacks the luxuries of a full library. The primary resource is the jail's TrueLinks electronic law library, which provides legal materials for inmates. However, a former prisoner described the MDC's resources as woefully inadequate, saying, "Forget about your constitutional rights. Human rights here are a problem." The sense of isolation and the scarcity of resources must weigh heavily on Diddy, someone who is used to having everything at his fingertips. When it comes to personal hygiene, the adjustments are equally jarring. Diddy is allowed to shower only 3 times a week, and the conditions are appalling. Inmates have described the showers at the MDC as filthy and often filled with mold. For a man who likely frequented the finest spas, this is a harsh reality. The poor ventilation, the stench of unflushed waste, and the general lack of cleanliness create an environment vastly different from anything Diddy has ever known. To make matters worse, frequent plumbing issues only add to the discomfort of his already grim surroundings. Plumbing issues have also been a significant problem at the IA facility. In just 1 month, 800 work orders were filed for repairs, including fixing broken pipes. It's a harsh reminder that even basic necessities are not guaranteed in the SU. Now, imagine if Diddy were placed in the general population of the MDC, a facility that has earned its reputation as hell on earth since opening in 1994. The MDC has become notorious for its brutality and neglect in recent years. Reports suggest inmates receive inadequate supervision and medical care, creating an extremely dangerous environment. A former prisoner revealed that stabbings occur frequently, with incidents happening at least a couple of times each week. These attacks are rarely random. Inmates often arm themselves with homemade knives ranging from 6 to 9 inches long. In one tragic case, an inmate was stabbed multiple times but was punished with a 25-day lockdown instead of receiving immediate medical attention. Another inmate was fatally stabbed, a grim reminder of the savagery within the facility. The situation is exacerbated by systemic corruption. Over the past 5 years, 6 correctional officers have been fired for smuggling contraband into the Eid prison, including phones, illegal substances, razors, and scalpels. Some inmates even allege that certain officers are gang members themselves, adding to the unpredictability of the environment. The brutality at the MDC has become so severe that some judges are reluctant to send prisoners there. However, with the closure of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, which previously housed high-profile prisoners like Jeffrey Epstein, the MDC remains one of the few options for housing individuals like Diddy. If anything were to happen to him, the fallout would be significant, and accountability would undoubtedly follow. So, is Diddy completely safe in his current situation? That remains uncertain. Recent reports suggest he may have been moved from total isolation to a dormitory with another high-profile prisoner, former crypto magnate Sam Bankman-Fried. Meanwhile, Diddy's lawyers have described the conditions at the MDC as horrific and have even attempted to secure his release on a $50 million bond. However, the judge denied the request, meaning Diddy will remain in custody for the foreseeable future. If Diddy is indeed in a dormitory, his situation may become even more challenging. Dorm life in protective custody doesn't guarantee safety. He'll likely face 24-hour paranoia, sleeping with one eye open and constantly staying on guard. Dormitories can house inmates with serious offenses, including those involving sex-related crimes. Given Diddy's immense wealth, it's probable that he'll need to pay someone substantial sums to ensure his safety. Despite his financial resources, he remains at significant risk in such a volatile environment. In the midst of all these harsh realities, fresh news about Diddy continues to surface, keeping the public's attention fixed on his ongoing struggles behind bars. Another inmate is causing quite a stir at Brooklyn's MDC. Reports reveal that Diddy and Luigi Mangione are both being held at the facility, and their time behind bars has become the subject of significant drama. According to sources from the Daily Mail, Diddy has been struggling with negativity from other inmates. He feels he's facing hostility and hate inside the lockup, which has reportedly left him frustrated and upset. On the other hand, Luigi Mangione, who faces serious charges, including the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, seems to be experiencing quite the opposite treatment. Luigi, recently transferred to the MDC from a facility in Pennsylvania, has quickly earned the respect and affection of fellow inmates. While Diddy battles negative attention, Luigi finds himself surrounded by support. The reason behind Luigi's popularity reportedly stems from shared struggles with the other inmates, many of whom have lost loved ones due to inadequate health care. These shared experiences have made Luigi relatable and well-liked, helping him navigate the prison environment with more ease than Diddy, who is accustomed to a very different kind of lifestyle. However, as with most rumors, there's always another side to the story. Luigi's lawyers have denied claims that Diddy is upset with him or the situation, stating that there's no tension between the two and that the narrative may have been exaggerated. According to a report by the Mirror US, Diddy, who has pleaded not guilty and continues to deny all charges against him, has not interacted with Luigi during their time at the MDC. In fact, the two have reportedly made no effort to connect, as they share little in common, and their paths have not crossed inside the facility. Given their vastly different backgrounds, circumstances, and charges, it's not surprising that Diddy and Luigi haven't engaged with one another. However, an intriguing detail adds complexity to the story. Despite their lack of interaction, there's a notable connection between their legal teams. Diddy is being represented by Mark Agnifilo, a prominent defense attorney known for handling high-profile cases. Interestingly, Luigi's defense is managed by Mark's wife, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, a highly respected attorney in her own right. This overlap in their legal representation has sparked curiosity, even though Diddy and Luigi are not directly involved in each other's cases or personal lives. The shared connection between their lawyers adds an unexpected twist to the ongoing drama at the MDC. The fact that their respective legal battles are being handled by a husband and wife team highlights just how interconnected the world of criminal defense can be, particularly when dealing with complex high-stakes cases. Karen, an experienced attorney in her own right, works alongside her husband, Mark, defending clients facing serious charges. Although they are working on separate cases, their professional paths have converged in this particular situation, as both of their clients are now housed in the same prison and are under intense public scrutiny. As of now, Diddy is still awaiting his trial, which is scheduled for this spring. His defense team is working diligently to gather evidence that may exonerate him. According to legal documents obtained by Page 6, Diddy's lawyers argue that key videos in the case actually support his side of the story. They contend that the videos show private, consensual, intimate moments between Diddy and his long-term girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who is referred to as Victim 1 in the case. Diddy's legal team asserts that the videos prove Cassie not only consented to the activities, but also genuinely enjoyed them, undermining any claims of misconduct. A major point of contention in the case revolves around whether Diddy retained the footage. There has been significant debate over whether he kept these videos for personal use, and his legal team is working to clarify this misconception. They argue that the 9 videos in question were not found on Diddy's devices, claiming none were seized during the federal raid on his homes in early 2024. Instead, they state that Cassie Ventura kept the footage on her personal device for years, and she is the one who produced it for the authorities. Diddy's attorneys also emphasize that Cassie was not only a willing participant in the videos, but appeared confident, dominant, and completely in control, further supporting their claim that there was no coercion or manipulation. According to Diddy's lawyers, the footage shows no evidence of mistreatment, threats, or coercion, which counters the accusations of misconduct. However, despite the legal arguments, there's no denying that Diddy's actions have raised serious questions. If Cassie wasn't enjoying the activities, it's hard to imagine that Diddy would have allowed her to avoid participating willingly. What are your thoughts on this situation? Do you think Diddy is handling life in prison well, or do you think the conditions are driving him to madness? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this case.